Okay, hi.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the Karu Podcast and Kiljo.
Something like that.
Something around there.
Yeah, I don't know what we're going to talk about. For people that have been here before, like Lucian's been here a few times. Juneburger's been here every time. Juneburger's even sat on the old set when we had a couch. We had a couch for the old set. Where your desk is, there was a couch there.
Okay.
We don't have that couch right now, but we took it away because Dom was here, so we took it out.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. You wouldn't want to tempt fate.
No, and now you've got a desk. So you're on the guest desk, which is also Teki's desk.
The guest.
Yeah, the guest. You have Narin's drink.
Good.
You have some Narizona iced tea. I have my own Halloween drink, even though it's not Halloween anymore. It's probably Christmasify this. Narin, where you at?
Narin.
I need artwork.
Yep.
Where are you?
Chop.
Yep. And then the other one is Teki's Halloween drink, which I kind of don't want to touch because I don't know where his mouth has been.
Have I?
Have you?
I have no idea. My brain says that I've commissioned Narin for something, but I don't think I have.
I currently have, but I can't talk about it. I can talk about it off stream to you, but not to anybody in the chat.
Yeah, everybody back off.
Yeah, I'm not centered. Do you know why I'm not centered? I'm not centered because I'm in the same position where I would be if Teki was sat next to me.
No, I don't want to do that. Stop asking me questions, browser. Welcome in.
Hello. Hikaru calmed art of Fav and Hikaru. That's what you commissioned from Narin.
Did I?
Probably.
That doesn't sound like me.
I've commissioned a lot of things from Narin. Like, you're kind of looking at one. You're looking at a lot of one, actually.
I'm not talking about in the past. I mean currently.
Like, you're looking at me. I'm commissioned from Narin. All of the drinks actually aren't commissioned from Narin. I just told Narin to do it.
Valid.
And Narin did it.
You know, we appreciate our burb.
The desks I got from Etsy.
They have a very tempestuous nature.
The logo, yeah, very tempestuous for real. The logo came from Keiru. The Avalon logo came from. Did Noi make that?
I think Noi made them both. Yes.
Yeah, that was the Noi logo. Noi way.
I got that one here somewhere.
Fucking
nope,
shit,
wrong one.
Noi way.
There it is.
Yeah, I don't think that one was Noi. I think that one was someone in the chat.
Fucking shit, mate. Bruv. Fucking wanker.
Oh. So the last time we did a podcast was like 2 months ago. Donuts? No, that's Scottish.
That's Scottish?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that was British.
I mean, technically they're part of Britain. But it's said more when you're up Scot. So.
Gotcha. When you're up Scot. Yeah. Hey, damn. We're getting even more lingo.
You don't say it where I'm at. They can't. I can't really say the word that they would replace donut with on stream.
Oh.
But it starts with a C and ends in a. So. So I can't say that one.
Yeah. You mean that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've heard people say melon here. I guess. Yeah.
That's weird. Why do people keep taking food and just being like, this is an insult now?
Yeah. Ramsey is Scottish, yeah. Is he?
Is he?
I need to look that up. I just blindly agreed with Junebug.
Also, I think I've seen maybe like 3 clips of Ramsey, so I don't know anything about Ramsey or any.
Oh, he is Scottish. Yeah, he is.
I couldn't tell you anything Ramsey said. So if donut is something that Ramsey says, I couldn't tell you.
Make the show a little brighter. There we go.
The only thing I know is the bass is fucking raw.
Yep. Lucian finished his chips. What do you mean by chips?
Yeah, I was about to ask this. We need to know specifically what you mean by chips.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Are you talking potato chips, not crisps? Potato chips? Or are you talking about fries?
Yeah. We need to know, Lucian Cauldron.
Yeah. The not fries. The right chips. Although I will say I do love fish and chips.
See? It's because the chips are...
If they were called fish and fries, would not love it.
No, fish and fries sounds like a good, sounds like some kind of fucking restaurant.
It does, actually.
But fish and fries is a meal? I don't know about that.
Fish fries and fish and fries.
Yeah, for real. I will put the chips in my cauldron. You have a cauldron?
Oh, you have a cauldron?
Are you a witch?
Not a cauldron.
Put the fries in the bag.
Put the fries out of the bag. AFK is the bag.
AFK sounds drunk.
AFK sounds drunk.
So what have you done this week, Hikarukami?
Worked. I have worked. I went to Dave & Buster's for the first time. And I will say that... So I found out that the Dave & Buster's that I went to is a smaller one comparative to another one. So that makes a little bit more sense because I was expecting it to have a little bit more to it. The drinks were solid. Honestly though, in an arcade, I was not expecting my favorite game to be Minecraft Dungeons. I have Minecraft Dungeons at home, but I was not expecting Minecraft Dungeons to be such a banger arcade game. But it's a joysticks, pretty much side to side with a dodge, a melee, and a ranged attack. And every time you pay to revive or whatever, it drops this little, I don't know what you want to call them, cardboard or cardstock card. That'll be like, oh, this is a skin or a weapon or whatever. And there's over 100 different ones you can get. And you can scan them whenever you choose your character or whenever you're reviving. And effectively choose your build with these collectible cards. Which I thought was such a unique and fun way to bring something to arcade games which have been done forever, you know? So I thought that was like really neat that like by paying money, you're getting these collectible cards that you can then like whenever you go back the next time, have like sort of a deck of sorts that you can actually choose your build. So you go into the game with maybe a little bit more equipment than you normally would, or like a more specific build at least. I thought that was really neat.
So the last time I went to an arcade was like it was a long time ago. I think it was like 28. Yeah, 2018 or 19. 19.
Before COVID.
Yeah, it was 2019 in April. There was an arcade game there which kind of had a similar thing where it gave cards every time you lost. You'd get one no matter what you like, whether you won or lost. You'd get a card anyway.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like a rip-off Pokemon thing.
Oh, interesting.
But where you would fight with like mechanical mech Pokemons or whatever the brand was. It was just mech animals, and the cards would give you the mech animal on your team that was on the card.
Mechanimal is like low-key probably the name they should have chosen for the mechanimal thing. Mechanimal is like actually
that kind of slaps.
It does low-key slap.
I think it had the word beast in it, but I don't know what the rest of it was. Beast
as
something.
Long as it's not reality.
Yeah, it wasn't that. They'd have probably got sued by EA and a lot of other people. But my favorite arcade game is House of the Dead 3.
House of the Dead does slap. We played the elevator shooter, which was fun, but the Tomb Raider. The Tomb Raider shooter like was actually pretty solid. Did a couple runs of that. Other than that though, mostly just working. Been busy.
And what have I done this week?
Yeah, what have you done?
I worked. I watched the Lord of the Rings anime movie on Monday.
What?
That kind of slapped. They released a Lord of the Rings anime movie. They released it last Friday.
Lord of the Rings anime.
Yeah, War of the Rohirrim or something.
Interesting.
It kind of slapped. Well, not kinda. It actually slapped. It was so fucking good.
Japanese animation or American?
I believe it was a Japanese studio.
Interesting.
But it was really fucking good. I watched that on Monday. I'm supposed to watch the Sonic movie tomorrow, but we're doing that on Sunday now.
Sonic?
Yeah, that's my guy. For real. I'm watching his movie on Sunday instead of tomorrow. Because Sarah's fucking work keep fucking her around. So I can't go with the frog to watch the movie tomorrow.
Is 3 out? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the one with Keanu?
Yeah.
I need to watch number 2 so I can watch Keanu.
Number 2 kind of bangs too.
I need to watch Les Mis.
You do. You talked about that last night.
Yeah, but like, I need to not be exhausted from work and streaming before I watch Les Mis.
So you should watch Sonic 2 instead, because it's not as long.
Sonic 2 instead. You're so right.
But it's not as long, and Knuckles is in it. And fun fact about the Sonic movies, right? So Idris Elba is Knuckles. Yeah, he's playing Knuckles.
Sure.
He refuses to do his lines unless he's wearing Knuckles gloves. Because it helps him get into character.
What a fucking Chad. That's so good. Idris Elba. Okay, so Never mind. I'm not gonna get into that entire rant.
Yeah.
I do love Idris Elba, but they fucking butchered, not them, but like the studio butchered the Dark Tower fucking Stephen
Oh
King.
yeah, they did. I remember that. I remember the movie.
I was I was so pissed.
I also remember the books, but I remember the movie.
Yeah, it's like, yeah,
Because
yeah.
I knew of the books before the movie, but I read
Mhm.
them afterwards. So I watched the movie and then I read the books, and I was
All of them?
like, not all of them. Like I read 2 of them. I can't remember which ones they
Yeah,
are. They're
I
on the
only read
bookshelf
2 of
behind me
them.
somewhere.
I only read 2 of them. Stephen King has problems,
Yeah.
which is obvious,
Yeah.
but like, I really don't need some of the descriptors he puts in those books.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, they're just like, we get these guys are bad guys. You don't need to like beat it into our heads with some obscenely graphic descriptors that I really didn't need to hear about.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, have you read The Talisman, which is another Stephen King book?
No.
That book is maybe the like only Stephen King book that I really enjoy. Uh, that one, it's like this like psychological horror-esque,
Mm-hmm.
but it's more just like kind of like a fantasy.
Mm.
It's almost isekai-esque. Where like this before isekai was ever a thing. It's like this kid who's like 13 or 12 or something gets like dragged into another world.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a fantasy world, and he's like trying to like make his way through it. And you're never really sure whether the kid is going through some sort of like PTSD, like traumatic response where he's disassociating and like living in a fantasy land,
Mm-hmm.
or if he's actually in this other world. Uh, but like it's a really good book series. Or series. I say series because they came out with the Black House, which is technically a sequel to it, but it's like
Mm.
25 years later
Mm-hmm.
when he's like obviously like 30 years old or whatever, and he's like a grizzled private detective like hunting a serial killer. And it takes in like nuances of the first book, but they're kind of both standalone books. But yeah, no, I think like Stephen King's not my favorite author, but I do like
He has some
I
good
do
shit, but I
he's
wouldn't
got some
say
good stuff.
he's the best.
Yeah, I think he was in the right place at the right time to capitalize on a market.
Yeah.
I do think he's iconic. I do not think he's a phenomenal writer as everybody makes him out to be, I think.
He was
But
good for his time.
he was good for his time, like in that period, and he's very iconic. You have so many different
Pet Cemetery.
things. Pet Cemetery is another great example.
Shining, Doctor Sleep, all
I
pretty good.
don't know how I didn't know that The Shining was written by him.
Mm.
But yeah, there's so many different things that are very iconic, very of that time, but I think like one of my coworkers likes to point out, he has this annoying habit of like describing things as things and then saying he goes, "It was like a bat, only it was nothing like a bat." And you're like,
Yeah.
"What does that
Yeah.
even say? What did you even say right there?"
He does a lot in it.
It's like, what that told me nothing. That is a
Yeah.
useless filler sentence.
Well, he couldn't figure out what to put, so he put that.
Yeah. But yeah, no. I think a lot of great authors are fucked up in different ways.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, Stephen King has, other than his serious cocaine problem,
Yeah.
uh he I think there's even a quote of the infamous scene from the book of it
Uh-huh.
that didn't make it into the movies.
Yes.
Yeah, I think somebody even questioned him in an interview, and he was like, "I don't know, man. I was on a lot of cocaine at the time."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Yeah, that I guess okay." But like, Orson Scott Card is another great author who has some very morally reprehensible views on race.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
there's a lot of those offers.
yeah, I mean, let's talk about. I mean,
What's his fucking
one of my
name?
one of my favorite authors that legitimately is maybe the worst excuse for a human being known to man
Yep.
is H.P. Lovecraft.
Yep, that's the guy. I forgot his fucking name.
Yeah. Yeah, June. One of the most reprehensible human beings known to man, but God, do I just love Eldritch horror.
His stuff was
And
really fucking good, and he is a person. Or
and it's
was.
like one of the most influential authors to
Yeah.
date.
Yeah.
I mean, you do not see cosmic horror nowadays, uh, without tentacles being like in it. Like cosmic horror and tentacles just go together
Yeah.
because H.P. Lovecraft's fear of the depths of the ocean, like translated into his writing, and now just that is synonymous. Is like octopus and stuff like that are like very like entwined with cosmic horror.
Like he's inspired a lot of shit too. Like I can name one one thing that was definitely inspired by
Yeah.
him from the top of my head, and it's the entire species of old gods in WoW.
Oh yeah.
They
Anything of the old gods
Yep.
is him.
Like they kind of literally took the names from them as well and just changed it a little bit. Like the old gods in WoW, Yogg-Saron, Yogg-Sothoth,
Oh yeah. Yogg-Sothoth. Yeah.
Azeroth. That's
That's
the same equivalent.
literally
Yeah,
that's literally
yeah,
1-1. But he's an extremely influential writer. He
yep.
he he is the birth of cosmic horror.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and it's unfortunate how reprehensible of a human being he was. But Lum, you actually do have a wonderful point. Like a lot of these things are born from fear and ignorance. And like his writing isn't even subtle sometimes. I mean, like, not a lot of his stuff isn't subtle. Like, if you really think about it, and you're like, wow, the bad guys are the fish people that like came from across the sea. Gee, I wonder if he has a problem with people migrating
Yeah.
from other countries. You're like, huh, I wonder.
Mm.
You know, like his like that stuff's a little bit more subtle, but then like I remember there's this one H.P. Lovecraft because I was going through his entire anthology or whatever you want to call it in chronological order. I was just going from the beginning of his works all the way forward.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I was doing it all audiobook style just on YouTube. And I couldn't find this one. And I was looking. I was like, why is nobody got this one? I was like, this is annoying. Like, is it just not popular? Like, why has nobody read it? And I finally found one, and it opens up, and like 2 sentences in, just starts destroying verbally Mexicans as a whole. And I was
Uh-huh.
like, this is why nobody wanted to read this one.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, this one's no longer using euphemisms. This one's straight just racism. I was like, okay, wow.
Did
That
you
was
listen to the
intense.
whole thing?
Of course. I already knew he was a piece of shit. It's not like I got surprised. It was weird. It was like a lot of his stuff is, but like it was weird in like this like I couldn't tell you the name of it, but like I didn't understand the point. And sometimes some of H.P. Lovecraft stuff, like he's definitely on drugs, I think, because some of his
Yeah.
stuff just like he clearly understands what he meant, but fuck if I could understand it.
Mm.
I know like he's got a really weird upbringing too. I think like one or both of his parents ended up inside the asylum and like
And at
yeah,
least his mum did, right?
his mom did.
Yeah.
I don't remember everything, but like I think he was born in what 1849, something like that, till like 1921. I want to say was that was his run,
Mm.
which like yeah, I don't know. Straight up, just those mixed race people are impure and therefore evil. Yes, absolutely. Uh, he was definitely. There was sometimes he was subtle, like the Shadow over Innsmouth was so clearly like it was so clearly just a city that he felt was corrupted because there were two different inferior beings that had moved in, and it was that whole entire like it's one of his most iconic stories, but boy are those very harsh stereotypes for aliens.
Yeah.
Anyway, not to not to turn this into the why HP Lovecraft was a piece of shit
Hey,
podcast.
people are listening.
But the point being is and like there to a degree I do believe in death of the author. Uh because so much iconic and creative work has been birthed from the groundwork that he laid,
Mm.
as reprehensible as he is.
Who else was a piece of shit?
I already touched on Orson Scott Card, which I can't actually. I did call him racist, but I think he might have been homophobic. I can't remember, or
Mm.
both. I don't remember. But he did Ender's Game, Ender's Shadow, which were iconic sci-fi series.
Mm.
Um, who else? I mean, there's some slightly problematic stereotypes
I can
in Lord
also
of the
think of a living piece of shit that we probably should have mentioned.
Rings. uh, like maybe I think Lord of the Rings has some pretty hefty stereotypes in it, but
Yep.
I couldn't like finger him as specifically like horror bad for any specific thing. I don't remember. I haven't heard any of his like specific
I
points of
believe he
view.
just didn't like Germans.
Oh, okay.
That's what I believe. Mainly
Uh,
because of him serving in the wars.
and yeah, that I mean that ties back to like what's his name? The poet.
Yes.
Oh, what is his name?
That one dude.
He lived such a wild life too, if I could remember his fucking name. Uh yep, so true. Um gosh, what is his name? Uh it but he was a really famous poet. But like he lived such an insane life. Like he was a Nazi hunter and like all of this crazy stuff that you're like, wow, this dude's like famous for I think like love poems or some shit like that. Like you're like, this man is such an insane story. If I can remember, I'm
Simon
terrible.
Weissenfall?
No,
Because that was a Nazi hunter poet.
I'm trying to. What was his name? Famous poets. Robert Frost is. What is his name? Come on, T.S. Eliot? No. Shel Silverstein? No. I want to. Maybe he wrote short stories and not poems. But yeah, I'm not gonna remember his fucking name.
His life sounds wild.
But my brain.
Yeah.
Trying to think of other pieces of shit. I mean, we got what's her face?
The one that Junebug was alluding to?
Probably.
Is she still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense then.
Because that one is very influential in writing.
Absolutely. I mean, like, to such a massive degree that, like, alongside your zodiac, you also know your house.
Yeah.
Like, that is just, like, such a massively influential part of our culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild. And I think that has, again, more to do with right time, right place. Because the writing has a lot of holes in it.
Gets better towards the end, but
I like my favorite thing is like, you mean they still have access to this time traveling thing where they can go back in time and stop things from happening, yet they never use it again?
Yes.
Like, oh, they have these polyjuice potions or whatever that are like capable of doing all of this stuff, yet they never use that again. That's wild. They have all of these different things that they like use to solve problems that they'll never use again, despite it being able to solve 90% of the problems that come up again. My favorite point is to point out is the you can apparate. You can apparate to different places on the world, and yet you have your mail transported by the world's slowest bird. Like, that's just animal cruelty at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, in the video that I'd watched, he was like, yeah, and I get what you're about to say. You can't apparate within the halls of Hogwarts. Is like, but like, why are we basing the entire world's magical rulings based on the rules of one school?
Yeah.
And also, if they are basically the magical Illuminati, and yet they allowed all of these horrendous things in the world to happen, like, that's fucked up. And if you guys aren't the magical Illuminati, why the fuck not?
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of plot holes.
There's a lot of plot holes. And the whole, like, lack of understanding of, like, Muggle technology makes absolutely no sense. You have zero understanding of Muggle technology, and yet at the same time, the Fantastical Beasts books exist in which you guys are clearly out in the greater world. And like you guys are clearly steeped in technology. Plus, Ron had a flying fucking car. So, like, don't tell me you guys know nothing about the outer world. Like, what are you talking about?
Fantastic Beasts kind of slaps, honestly. But
the first one.
Yeah.
The second one, it was like, hey, we remember that enough to put the word beast in our title,
Mhm.
But, like, what if we just made this movie barely have animals in the entire thing, except for, like, very cinematic shots where he's, like, inside his pocket dimension with all the animals, and you're like, "Oh, this is cool," and then it's, like, back to never seeing them again. And you're like, "What?" I was significantly disappointed in that movie. The first one slapped, though.
The first one did slap. They did that with a lot of with a lot of sequel trilogies of stuff that came out, right? Because it was a prequel, but
Yeah.
but you get my point. I mean, even in the thing I was going to compare it to, it's still a prequel because the first Hobbit movie slapped, and then the other two were they existed.
Yeah, my mom was really happy when they decided to split it into multiple movies because, like, she didn't want it to be rushed, and then it was just
Yeah, and then it was rushed anyway.
And that was rushed anyway. It was like, it should have just been one fucking movie. Go to Lord of the Rings 3 with it and just make it obscenely long that nobody wants to sit down and watch.
Yeah. I haven't watched Lord of the Rings in a long time. Apart from the anime movie this Monday. That was pretty good. But that was
I heard
fucking
Rings of Power
prequel.
was solid. Like, it wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. There was a few problems in it with it. The biggest issue being Tom Bombadil.
Mm.
But yeah.
The main complaints I heard from people who were complaining about Rings of Power were the people that hate women. So
What about the did you hear about the female dwarf?
yeah.
Yeah, where it's like it's specifically called out that only dwarves can tell the difference between female dwarves and male dwarves, yet she is clearly like
Yep.
very clearly a woman. And you're like, this is not true to the source material.
No. The Fantastic Beasts was originally going to be 5 movies, but due to shit that happened, I doubt they will ever finish them.
With all the Johnny Depp stuff.
Yeah.
Some other shit.
When they recast him with Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
Who did a pretty good job, by the way, but it wasn't what Depp was doing.
Yeah.
It was a completely different tonal shift in the character.
Depp is a really good actor.
Mm-hmm. Not that Mads Mikkelsen isn't, but Depp is levels above a lot of people.
Yeah. What else is like death of the author shit? None come to like mind right off the bat. My brain wanted to bring up Sanderson, but I think Sanderson's a pretty fucking chill dude.
Mm. Who else is dead?
Like, Sanderson surprises me because I feel like a lot of people's beliefs bleed into their writing, and yet I don't see it with Sanderson. Because Sanderson is very like hardcore Mormon. Yet no trace of that is in his books. If anything, his books are very much like religion bad. Like it's very interesting to me. I'm trying to think of like really popular book series. We have problematic authors. I bet you most authors are problematic, and I just don't know.
Yeah, a lot of us. There's probably a lot of them, and we just don't fucking realize.
Most people are problematic.
Yeah, I'm sitting with one.
Hey, wait a minute. But anyway, that was my sidetrack on writing.
Yeah. And so what about musicians who are problematic?
I'm problematic. I mean, I can touch on probably the most problematic of my generation. That is still like
don't let the seagull pop up behind you, Karo.
Yeah, we can talk about him. But he's more in the background of the music industry than like specifically a musician.
At least now.
At least now.
In the 90s, he wasn't. But I mean, to be fair, even then.
By him, but
Terry Pratchett.
M is extremely problematic. Terry Pratchett. What? Ooh, Terry Pratchett. I know the name. I know I know the writing, but I couldn't tell you the name of a book right now.
Good Omens, The Color of Magic.
Oh! Yes. Okay. I know Terry Pratchett.
Is he also problematic?
No, I don't. I haven't heard anything problematic.
Oh, so he was a good one.
Yeah. Who was it that took over writing Bad Omens when Terry Pratchett died?
I can look it up.
I almost want to say Sanderson did, but I don't think so. Or was it Neil Gaiman? Perhaps.
Neil Gaiman, yeah.
What series was it that Sanderson took over after the author passed away? It was like it's not Dune. It was Disney just released a TV show of it. I think. Fuck. The author kicked the bucket and he took over and finished it out based on like their notes because the wife like
Disney recent TV shows.
Oh. Who's the author I just said? Because my brain also forgot that.
Sanderson.
Sanderson.
Yeah.
Wheel of Time.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. After the death of Robert Jordan, Sanderson took over writing the Wheel of Time series. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, he took over to complete the final book, yeah.
But yeah. Music. M is clearly problematic.
Yeah.
Intentionally so.
Yeah. He's doing that shit on purpose. I don't think we can count him.
Yeah. Always has been.
Well, his most recent album was a thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It was clearly intentional.
Mm-hmm.
I think in a like almost masterful way, it was problematic. Because the second he kills Slim Shady in the album,
yeah,
all of the problematic shit stops.
Yep.
Just the second, like if you listen to it chronologically, the second he kills Slim Shady, it just becomes like good music that like isn't problematic anymore. And I was like, I think that was wonderfully done.
Yep.
Not to say that there wasn't a lot of problematic shit in the album.
There was. It was just before that point.
Yeah. And his songs to his daughter for like after he's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, that shit fucking that was good. But and I guess did Neil Gaiman take over for Terry Pratchett or did they work on it together, I think they did it together for Good Omens.
Yes. I
Yeah,
believe so.
I think that was a co-written thing. I think I misspoke there.
Grim said Marilyn Manson.
Marilyn Manson.
Kind of definitely problematic.
Is one of the good ones.
Neil Gaiman.
Yeah. Sandman, if you're familiar with that series.
Yeah.
Oh, what is Simon R. Green? I don't know much about him as an author, but his books are very like Neil Gaiman flavored. Clearly I feel like, to me at least, inspired by Neil Gaiman, though I could be wrong. This literally just became, I mean, obviously with me it was going to become about books and writing.
Okay, so if we're talking about books and writing, do you think he's ever gonna finish Game of Thrones?
Oh, is he not done with Game of Thrones?
No. He's been trying to finish the second to last book for the last 12 to 14 years.
So, I wanted to get into is it Song of Fire and Ice?
The first one is Song of Ice and Fire or something, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I think people are too attached. Oh, okay, that's fair. Ice and Fire, I wanted to listen to it because no way in hell am I going to sit down and read it. It's just not going to happen. But I do not like the narrator they chose for the audiobook, and so I cannot.
Oh, that's valid.
No,
try find someone narrating it on.
I did get, because he kills off all of his characters, but like also it's valid as like people are too attached to the series, so he might want it to die down a bit. He might feel too pressured. You didn't know about Neil? No shit. Yeah, Neil has a little bit of a darker writing, but at the same time, like, very good stuff. Neil Gaiman's Masterclass was really good from like what I watched. I didn't watch it all, but it was a really good masterclass on writing. But yeah, no, I couldn't get into
See if there's one randomly somewhere with a different voiceover. Or listen to, or like study your Spanish more and listen to it in Spanish.
Hell yeah. Did you read ACOTAR?
No. What is
a crown of thorns, or is it Crown of Thorns and Roses, right?
Yeah, from what I've just looked up, yes.
Yeah, ACOTAR.
It's recent. Well, ish.
Yeah, that one slapped. I'm gonna be real. I'm such a sucker for the Fae. That
I remember seeing the book covers in stores, so I do know what it is.
It got real popular and was like pushed as like fairy smut. But like, if that's smut, then I don't know what's not. because that was the most tame thing to ever be called smut in my life.
Mm.
But oh, I just love the Fae.
I'll put this in here.
Worked with Terry for a while. Yeah, I know for a fact he worked on Good Omens with Terry because I watched something about Neil Gaiman and Terry. With Good Omens. I think it was about the TV show that they made.
It was a TV show from what I looked up. Yeah.
Yeah, and he wanted to like honor Terry's like intentions with the TV show or something,
Mm.
and he didn't want to change too much because he wanted it to like be true to what Terry's intentions for the series were as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have wanted to watch Good Omens, but I haven't gotten around to it.
I haven't watched it either.
I love the Fae though. I'm always obsessed with the Fae.
I
Out
know
of
someone
all
who
of
is fair.
out of all of the mythos and everything, for like folklore related and stuff, I think the Fae will always like yes, I do love Grecian mythology. Egyptian will always be my favorites of like the pantheons, but when it comes to just folklore and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
are gonna bond over face mud, I guess. Hell yeah. Uh but no, I'm in love with the Fae. The Fae are that's why my primary D&D character, Liana, is Kitsune, who was like raised by the Fae.
Mm-hmm.
And that's her whole like she's very like tied in with the Fae and like it's so much fun to like play around with those thematics in different like incarnations of them being like whether you have the different fairy courts or you have like just the different rules depending on the era and like whether you're talking English or Scottish Fae and like all of those different things uh and like the differences and the similarities and the Fae that came to be that were sort of I mean, is where you get into the semantics of folklore, where it's like somebody made them up, and it's like, okay, well, like, favorite kind of fae, the Lianshi, which or Lianinshi, which however you want to pronounce it, which I feel like is pretty like obvious that the Muse would be my favorite, but the which is getting to the point that I was making where like yes, you get into the semantics of isn't all folklore made up, but I feel like a lot of it has roots in like actual stories that were told that were birthed from a specific place. But there's a author that I'm not going to remember his name that translated and like brought a lot of I believe the Scottish Fae over to England
Mm-hmm.
and like brought the folklore over and sort of like made up his own in the book that he was bringing over. So it didn't really have basis in like true folklore, like history of being like stories that were passed down from generation to generation. He just sort of kind of made them up. And I guess by him making them up and then them being passed down, they became folklore depending on your interpretation of what folklore truly is. Uh but the Leoninshi or the Lenanshi, uh, is a prime example of one of the ones that he made up that became, like, iconic in a way for the Fae.
Mm.
Her being the muse that would, like, go to artists and writers and stuff like that, and offer to be their muse for however long if she got their soul.
Mm.
But yeah, no, I do absolutely adore the Fae. The Winter Court being my favorite.
Are they blue?
They're blue, yeah.
That's what I know.
No, they're each court has like their own methodology, and while the Winter Court is very frequently painted as like villainous,
Yeah.
it's more cold in their dealings than specifically villainous. All of them, no Fae genuinely has like typically good intentions, but because the like summer court and stuff tends to present themselves in a more positive, like happy-go-lucky light, versus the Winter Court tends to be more of the vicious things. The Winter Court tends to have the bad guy versus the Summer Court being the good guy energy.
Mm.
Which the Winter Court, also known as the Unseelie. Anyway, I digress.
Okay, so we've been live for like an hour and 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to see the announcements that I said the stream was going to be about? In reality, the last 5 minutes were going to be about the announcements. I just baited you all.
Dun dun dun.
Okay, we can turn off the TV filter. And I'll move us out of the way. Take us off.
It was just a filter. My hair has been white this whole time.
Take this off. Floating drinks. Ooh. Yeah?
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, so this is the first announcement.
No way.
That Teki and Kari will be helping me run Avalon from now on because of obviously things that happened on Monday with Hermes no longer being in the group. We don't have to talk about that, but the two will be helping me run Avalon for the foreseeable. Teki on a creative aspect and Hikaru on a managing aspect, but both will help me. I would say any questions, but you just asked one. Why are these the pictures I chose? Well, Teki is part of management, so he's telling people what to do. And Hikaru is
cleaning up the messes.
Yes. And I'm terrified of what is to come.
I'm the face.
Hikaru is now the face that runs the place. Kind of.
I'm the face that runs the place and the thighs that save the lives.
For real. Now, the second announcement is something that I was planning to do with Hermes when Hermes was here, that we mentioned once or twice to the rest of the group, but we didn't really tell them anything. So this will be happening on the 10th of January.
Welcome to Avalon Direct!
Yeah, Avalon Direct will be happening on the 10th of January, where you'll be finding out things that will be happening for or with each Avalon member for the next year. For the most part. I'm still putting it together, but it will be done by the 10th of January. Yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to announce it before it got lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
I know one of the announcements will be about the Avalon game. So that will be on there. I'm sure this idiot has stuff to talk about with music. I don't know.
I mean, yeah. I do still need to release my song before the end of January.
Mm-hmm. There'll be a bunch of other stuff. We'll talk about things behind the scenes, but maybe we'll have a date for the sequel to the Smash and Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, which were announced but postponed. There'll be a bunch of shit. Anyway,
I don't know how to spell. Can we bring Bone on to the spelling bee?
If Bone wants to be on the spelling bee, Bone can be on the spelling bee. But the spelling bee will have a date announcement probably, yeah.
Hell yes.
Because the next 3 events in line are the Smash tournament, the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, and the spelling bee.
No, I want everybody else to have to spell what I'm the god of. Genosis. Can you use it in a sentence? Yeah, no, it is funnier when I spell it wrong. Yes, Genosis is the greatest of all the domains.
Is it?
Yep. I would know.
Yeah?
God of knowledge and all.
If we hand you that word, you'll crumble. Gen. E. G.
Are you looking at it right now?
OSIS. No.
Are you looking at it right now?
I'll send a picture to you of what is on my screen right now. To show that I'm not looking. You ready?
Good job. Yeah. I'm ready.
But I need to
Watch
fucking.
it just
I need
my
to.
thighs.
I need to landscape this. There we go. Where are you? You can't really see. You can't see the fucking third monitor. But the third monitor has the same as the other two because they're all looking at the same fucking thing.
That's fair.
Well, it's pretty easy to spell. You just have to know how to spell Gen and then Gnosis.
Yeah. I think Gnosis is the part that trips people up. And also because it sounds just like Genesis.
But yes, Avalon is moving forward with a lot of different cool things that we'll announce to you on the Direct on the 10th of January. Not when you relate it to Noki.
What is that?
Some kind of tea, I don't know.
No, I gotta look that up.
It's potato pasta?
Oh, interesting. Dumplings.
How about you potato pasta these nuts? Huh? You thought about that? You're too far away? Shit.
Shit. Whale shit.
Okay, I think Ken is live, so I'm gonna go raid Ken. There's not really that many people here.
Hanging out, chilling, chatting with us. As always, this is the Kiljo and Teki Podcast. I am the guest host, Hikaru Kami, God of Genosis, and stay tuned. Keep up with Avalon because we got a lot of stuff coming.
Yeah, and I might steal Hikaru for more podcasts. This guy's pretty good at it. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Where's Karu? I have a raid emote.